As an observer in the age of truth-telling, welcome to this explainer. We're jumping right into an incredibly deep Gothic fable about the profound relationship between life, the struggle to exist, and the absolute void. So if you're fascinated by stories that challenge the very nature of existence itself, you are absolutely in for a treat. Here is the table of contents for our graphic novel. We'll start with the age of truth-telling, then move through 4 interconnected moral parables: the resilient flicker, the sound of becoming, the defiant script, and 2 honest guests, before wrapping up with the unified Verdant Ink.
Section 1. The Age of Truth-Telling, Setting the Stage.
We find ourselves at the very edge of reality, in a harsh, deeply atmospheric landscape known as the Lead Horizon. It's a place made entirely of gray dust that never lied. The world here simply ends in a perfectly flat plain. It represents the ultimate destination of inorganic calm, where the chaotic universe has been successfully corrected into absolute silence.
Right away, we witness an intense clash between our 2 protagonists. On one side, we have the gargoyle of living fire, the cynical arbiter of the cosmic creed, representing the immutable black ink of negation and death. But standing against him is the verdant spark. This is a persistent pulse of emerald light, a messy, vibrant remnant of potential refusing to yield to the void. Section 2. The Resilient Flicker, Parable of the Mistake. In the center of this stalemate, the gargoyle, steeped in the malicious wisdom of the stars, literally dips his claws into the dust to mock the spark's existence. He snarls, "You are a cosmic mistake." To him, the spark is nothing more than a structural error, an irritating blot of ink on a perfect blank cosmic page. To the gargoyle, this infinite zero is the final, ultimate honesty. According to his creed, any living friction, any warmth or movement at all, is just a vain delay. It's a futile attempt to postpone the everlasting quiet of the end. But the spark doesn't just unravel. It pulses a brilliant green drop of defiance right against that black script. It demonstrates a resilient truth. Even if life is a mistake, it casts a vibrant light that the void simply cannot bleach white. Section 3. The Sound of Becoming, Life's Refusal to Fade. At the center of this conflict is the ledger of borrowed debt. This is an invisible account the gargoyle uses to claim that every breath is a liability. Under this cynical logic, to breathe is to borrow. Life is viewed as a temporary theft from the void's inorganic calm, an unauthorized withdrawal from the silence. This is the core philosophical battle. The gargoyle hisses through his leaden tongue, insisting that every rhythmic heartbeat is a wasted effort. The spark counters with an honest sound of chaotic becoming, arguing that vitality isn't a theft at all. Instead, the chaotic struggle of becoming is the absolute truth of the passage of time. In response to the gargoyle's ledger of debt, the spark does something incredible. It bursts from its petrified, oxidized lead shell and actually transforms into a young, verdant dragon, overflowing with emerald vitality. It roars to life, proving that the chaotic struggle carries a truth just as heavy as the silence the gargoyle worships. Section 4. The Defiant Script, Unveiling the Hidden Truth. The spark, now pulsing with a pressurized emerald light, dramatically interrupts the stalemate. It prepares to unveil a terrifying truth hidden even from the obsidian index, stating, "You both treat the void as a silent judge, but you have forgotten who wrote the first entry in the ledger." Let's break down this massive paradigm shift. The borrowed debt isn't a theft committed by life. It's actually a predatory gift offered by the void itself. The void intentionally created this structural error to generate living friction. Why? Because the perfectly flat plane was never actually a state of final honesty until it had a witness. The void is a starving architect that requires the chaotic noise of the living to experience its own inorganic calm. Imagine realizing your whole purpose is a lie. The gargoyle's fire flickers in a sudden, cold realization, his malicious wisdom completely curdling. He realizes his entire existence of negation is just a mechanism. He's merely the void's way of feeding upon the noise of the living. At the exact same time, the young verdant dragon looks at his vibrant emerald scales and realizes they aren't some defiant right to exist. They are a deliberate blot of ink specifically intended to be devoured by the very silence he's been fighting. This dark knowledge completely shatters their previous roles as simply adjacent bubbles in the universe. Life is basically bait. Section 5. Two Honest Guests. A Collaborative Engine. This synthesis reveals a shocking new reality. The infinite zero isn't a final destination of rest at all. It's a collaborative engine. The gargoyle and the dragon realize they aren't enemies. They are negation and potential, manipulating the debt together to keep the world in a state of permanent unraveling. The gargoyle used to think only the gray dust was an honest guest, because it never lied about the end. But the spark reveals a different angle. If the void is the truth of the end, then vitality is the absolute truth of the journey itself. They realize they are both honest guests here. And here's the genius part. By consciously refusing to zero out the cosmic account, they turn their unauthorized withdrawal into an eternal debt. This refuses the void its rest, trapping the starving architect in a state where it must remain awake and hungry. Section 6. The Unified Verdant Ink. Rewriting the Unmaking. As an observer, this is incredible to witness. Equipped with this insight, the cynical shadow and the messy light turn away from the final honesty of the dust. Walking side by side across the lead horizon, they merge the black ink of death and the green light of life into a single, unified script of verdant ink. The pulse of the passage and the stillness of the end are now actively conspiring together to rewrite the very laws of the unmaking. I want to leave you with this final thought. If the void secretly relies on our chaotic becoming to define its own silence, the next time you feel the heavy burden of striving, ask yourself this: are you merely paying a cosmic debt, or are you the vibrant, messy, necessary friction keeping the dark awake? Think about it. It completely changes what it means to live.